Hello and welcome to Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes, episode number 172. It's The Secret Show, and we are live and on the air, broadcasting from Houston, Texas, and Whidbey Islands, right outside of Seattle and Washington, and also coming to us from Leamington Spa in the UK. It's Mark Sargent and Nathan Oakley, and me, Patricia Steere. Hello, everyone. Woo, Mark, Nathan.
Hello.
Thank you for being here. Now, The Secret Show doesn't usually have anyone but Mark and I on, but as a pop-in guest, as a drop-in guest, we have Nathan here because Nathan has done something very interesting. Now, there's a thing called Vice Media. Now, I know Vice Magazine, but Vice Media in London contacted you. And, well, Nathan, you tell the story. This is pretty exciting stuff.
Well, I, like a lot of people, hadn't heard of it. So I went into the chat today, into various different chats, which have all got problems, it would seem. But that aside, and asked, have you heard of Vice Media? And most of the people in Flat Earth, at least, hadn't. And then later in the day, when I'd sort of given up on asking people if they'd heard of it, a few people I was just generally chatting to said that they had, i.e. Nick from Phuket Word. And I know that certainly yourself and Stephen Chess had heard about it or heard of them. But yeah, it was exciting because yesterday it was like a potato meeting. Had Mark, had Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, Stephen Chess, yourself, and it was a touching moment, a meeting of the elders, all giving me advice about what I could potentially say and how to tackle certain situations. I got a full-on pep talk. It was wonderful. So that was prepping me for going in, because you kind of don't know what you're going to be faced with when you go and meet somebody like this. You just don't know how they're going to approach you or what they're going to ask or what curveballs they'll throw you. And so I asked the king of the curveball, Mark, and Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, like, what should I do? How should I approach this? And how should I approach that? And it was really, really nice. It was heartwarming to have help from people like yourself, Patricia, and Stephen Chess and Mark and David to prepare me to go to London to see these people and talk about Flat Earth in a big way. So they do a series called 10 Things I Would Love to Ask, I think, or 10 Things I have Never Had the Chance to Ask, or something like that. I'll have to look at the exact title. But there's 10 questions that they have got people like gynecologists and drug dealers, and let's give it some more glamorous stuff than that, but tantric sex experts. The last
and flat earthers. I mean, that just fits right in, doesn't it?
That was it. 10 questions I could never ask a or flat earther. Yep. So that's what it was. So they had a whole bunch of questions which they fired at me, and thanks to you guys, Mark and Dirth and yourself and Stephen, I was very well prepared, and I thought it went really well. They gave us the most amazing backdrop. If I may, can I actually share it? I brought up some pics. So
please do. For those who don't know, while you're getting ready to share, Vice Media LLC is a North American digital media and broadcasting company, and they originate from their Montreal-based Vice magazine, but they've got, obviously, in London, a really nice setup there. And they contacted you, Nathan, out of the blue and just said, hey, will you talk Flat Earth? I mean, how did they find you?
They just found me through Facebook. So they just dropped me a Facebook message, and as I say, I didn't know who they were, but just by you can kind of tell by the level of professionalism when someone gets in touch with you. They seem a bit more serious. I'm not saying that people who've contacted me from other YouTube channels aren't serious, but ultimately speaking, there was something about them that made me think, yeah, I'd like to chat to these guys a bit further. And chat I did. And off the back of that, like I say, I went down to this, hopefully it's on screen now, which is Alexandra Palace in London. And it's a glorious location. I mean, it doesn't actually serve that many people, but it's got a television transmitter on the top, which is still broadcasting, not as much as it used to. But that wasn't the impressive bit. The impressive bit was the backdrop. So where they were filming me, I'll be standing pretty much in front of this view. So it's like the whole of London, like the entire London skyline. And when I walked up the hill to meet them, my jaw was on the floor. I was like, wow, who picked this location? It's absolutely amazing. It's like, I didn't I've never been to Alexandra Palace, so I've obviously never seen it before. But when you're there looking at sort of the London skyline in its entirety, it is pretty spectacular, you know. And they're asking you flat Earth related questions, looking with that in the background. It was awesome. But that's kind of what it will look like with me sort of standing here-ish. But yeah, so that's Alexandra Palace and 10 things I didn't know I wanted to ask a flat earther.
Well, you were being very modest when you said that you kind of needed a little bit of help, I guess, from David Weiss and Stephen Chess, Mark Sargent, and others. You didn't at all. I just want to let you know. I mean, we were more than willing to be there as a sounding board, but you had it all under control. So don't give us the credit. So you went in and they filmed you and they asked you these questions. And did any of the questions surprise you, take you off guard? How do you feel you did and represented Flat Earth?
I think it went well. I mean, I'd have loved to have given more credit, because you say you can't give credit, but ultimately speaking, most of my rebuttals, if you will, have come from people like yourself, people like Jaron, even people like Eric DeBay. So, you know, credit where credit's due. You know, there was certain answers that I got lined up. For example, this is a Jaronism example, but in terms of how a pool table would be akin to Earth, and you've got the balls on top representing the celestial bodies, and just because the balls on top are spherical doesn't mean that the table underneath is a sphere. And you've got that little gem ready to say, and then reference the fact that you've got it from a big flat Earth YouTuber. But unfortunately, just in the way the conversation went, there wasn't any opportunities to plug anybody else. Not that I can remember anyway. It just didn't go in the natural flow of the conversation. But say this, sorry. So where they were filming, it's completely private property. You know, they picked the location and just kind of hoped that they could do it on the roadside. But then let's go over there and try it over there. It might be a bit quieter, was what we ended up doing. And before long, I'd rattled my way through all of the questions that they'd asked me, and then there's a security guard standing on my left shoulder. So I'm like, well, you know, I want to get through as much as I possibly can. So I got to the end of my question, and they were kind of like, well, that's what we can do now. So we walked back down the hill, and they held a handy cam and did the last of the interview sort of, you know, very rough and ready. So I don't know how it's going to look. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the backdrop, they just picked a really good spot, you know, and the questions were kind of combative in a way. You know, how would you find somebody ridiculing you, and how do you deal with things like that? You know, they were reasonably combative questions, but by the same token, you could tell that they'd looked into the subject enough to come up with some very good questions. Let's put it that way.
Well, do you feel that if any flat earther watches it, they'll say, way to go, Nathan? Or do you think you're going to have people saying, oh, he shouldn't have answered it that way? Or, oh, that's not what I would have said?
Well, this is kind of why I'm keen to come on, and I'm pleased that you've invited me on, because you just don't know. You know, you kind of hope, this is Mark Sargent, that you don't say anything stupid. You know, you don't want to represent badly. And like I say, I didn't know how big they were. And they said to me, have you seen the series? I was like, actually, I haven't. You know, I have genuinely been really, really busy. But I got back and I was like, well, I should really have a look. And I looked them up, and on YouTube alone, they've got like 8 million subscribers. They've got a massive channel. They've got a massive website. Their Facebook presence is enormous. I was like, oh, wow. And then I looked through their videos, and they're like super, super slick, like really high production values. I mean, don't get me wrong, as soon as they brought out their kit, I knew that they were going to be producing something good, and they were fussy. So I was like, okay, this is a bit more serious than I maybe have given it credit to on the way down there. You know, you kind of have an image in your mind of another YouTube channel. You think, oh, they can't be that big. But, you know, from, like I say, people explaining, oh, yes, I definitely know who Vice are. You go, oh, okay, so they're not small, you know. And a well-known troll was telling me about the owner selling out for huge, huge sums of money. And you go, okay, so it's not a small deal. So, yeah. Good news. But I mean, hopefully, from edited well together, it should, to answer your question, hopefully represent Flat Earth well. You know, I've tried to put across that, you know, the Math Powerland bit, we can't get that point of view of Earth. Therefore, all of the propaganda we're presented by NASA is essentially based on faith. It's a belief. You know, again, without ruining their questions before they've even edited it together, you know, they're kind of asking me about, you know, am I religious, or is flat earth a religious belief? And I'm kind of saying, no, you are the ones with the belief, because beyond what you observe, what have you got? You've got stuff that you have to take it from the priests at NASA, and you take it on faith. So it is a belief system. So it's kind of not infuriating, but it's a bit frustrating when it's like, no, it's obviously and observably flat. That's the starting point. And beyond that, we just have to take the word of these priests. That's not me with the faith. That's you.
Did any of them that were there, any of the people who were helping out or interviewing you or using the camera, seem curious or surprised or interested, intrigued about what you were saying? Or were they kind of laughing on the inside and being professional on the outside?
Definitely intrigued. And you could tell just by their questions that they'd looked into it to a certain amount. You know, they weren't total noobs just asking noob questions, but they'd wormed in a few noob questions, I think, for their audience. In other words, they were very slick. They'd thought about it a lot, and you could tell that they were intrigued. That's why they'd approached me. And after the shoot had finished, although I was still mic'd up, and I was very conscious of that while they were asking a few questions, you could tell that they were interested, and they were asking me sincerely, do you believe in satellites? I'm like, well, no, because there's no evidence of them, and I can't go up and verify that they're there. And what we're left with is cartoons. And I'm not saying that to sort of condescend to them or patronize them. It's just that's kind of matter of fact as far as I'm concerned. But the fact that they were asking me these questions, they even had a work experience there helping them, and he was intrigued. He'd managed to one of the questions that was asked was his question, I found out afterwards. So in other words, they're all asking the questions. The cameraman's asking questions, the person who interviews me asking questions. So it's like this crew is interested in flat earth, and that's why I'm there. And that did bring a smile to my face. So yeah,
real people out there in the real world are interested in flat earth. Only when we make videos and we see comments on videos from professional or non-professional trolls, or sadly enough, fellow flat earthers, that's where the cries of moron, idiot come from. But in the real world, generally speaking, people are all ears, and most people anyway. So that's good to know, really good to know. When will we be able to see it and or hear it, and where will it be so we can see it or hear it?
From what they've said, when they sold me the concept, they said about their most recent guy, the tantric sex guy, who has had 10 million views, and it's published initially, at least as far as I can tell, in Facebook format. So the 10 million views they got with the tantra guy is on Facebook. So that's where it will be published as far as I'm aware. And their series then gets, I think it's re-uploaded to the website under the 10 questions heading. So that would presumably come at a later date. But I think the big release is no tantra references. The big release is on Facebook, so that's where hopefully it'll be edited nicely, and hopefully I'm not going to let the side down because it's taken out of context. But I don't think so. I mean, they can only use what I've said, and as far as I'm concerned, I hope I've done a good job. I really hope so.
It's always been a worry of flat earthers that if we get into the mainstream, that they will take our words out of context, they will edit things, they'll make us look like idiots. But you're a person who's very well spoken and very measured in your delivery and very clear spoken, and I bet you did a great job. I'm really excited that you did it. And are you ever going to be able to get it from them and put it on your own channel?
Possibly not. I mean, I think with a big outlet like them, judging from what I've looked at today, they're going to be sort of set up like a lot of the other media streams. I think EMI is one that you occasionally see if you're uploading other people's music. It'll say, automatically they'll have a system in place to stop me from doing that. So it won't be just as simple as going and swiping it. I think I'd end up with a copyright strike even with my own material. And I had to sign media releases, for them to have use of my likeness, in the same way that I had to do with you now. I've ticked a little box to join this hangout, and that essentially is like a waiver, and that's what I had to sign with them when I left. So the same thing will apply, because they'll take some of the material off my channel as well, and again I'll have to sign a media release for that. So probably not. I probably won't get to re-upload it onto my own channel. But on the other hand, I don't think I'll be as big a draw as the tantric sex guy, but if I got 1/10 of what he got, I'd be absolutely over the moon. Which still even less than that. If I got 1/20th, like 500,000 views, is still, it seems astronomical to think of it in those terms. But it potentially could have a few views. Who knows? I don't know.
And like you said, you took from a lot of different content providers. You mentioned Jeranism, you mentioned Eric Dubay, you've mentioned others while we've been talking. So it's not like you're presenting one model, one point of view. You're kind of doing an overall flat Earth view. You could do a video on your channel when it comes out to direct people to go to Facebook. I think that you should do that. That's a really good idea. On Facebook, is it called Vice Media or just Vice?
I think it's called Vice Media.
Okay. I'm going to go like that page. Well, maybe I won't, because probably they have some things I don't believe in on there, but I will go remind myself to keep that page in mind on Facebook. So anyway, wonderful. Thank you very much for coming and telling us the story. The place you went in London was beautiful. And I can't wait to see and hear you in mainstream media talking flat Earth. Way to go, Nathan. Thank you.
You want to get the title in just once correctly, because I've said it about 5 different ways, and it's 10 questions you always wanted to ask. So the actual title will be 10 questions you always wanted to ask a flat earther. So that'll be the actual title.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you so much for coming on.
It's been an absolute pleasure as always.
Talk to you later.
Bye for now.
Nathan Oakley from Leamington Spa. And the Leamington Spa meetup, just as long as Nathan is here or was here, is coming up on July 22nd. That's a Saturday in Leamington Spa, or the Royal Leamington Spa in the UK. And it's a free event. It's in the park. And for more details, you can message me. You can message Nathan Oakley. You can message Martin Liedtke. Anyway, my email is mssteere@gmail.com. So that's the 22nd. And I'm going to the UK to join Nathan, Martin, and many other people at this event. So we've done all that. Mark, I forgot this was our show. How's it going?
Oh, no, it's going fine. I didn't mind. I was actually looking up some of this stuff. Yeah, Vice on YouTube, a mere just a hair under 8 million subscribers. Been there since the beginning, 2005, 1.3 billion views in total. And the definitive guide to enlightening information from every corner of the planet. Our immersive, caustic, groundbreaking, and often bizarre stories have changed the way people think about culture, crime, art, parties, fashion, protest, the internet, and other subjects that don't even have names yet. So there you go.
It's very millennial based, I think, their target demo. But younger people than you and I anyway, is who we really want to know about this, so, but then again, there's people who are in their 70s, 80s, 90s, who are older than we are, believe it or not, who are getting into flat Earth. So we want everyone to know about it. So yeah,
it's
cool.
And it's a big network. They're all over this. Vice Brazil, Vice News. It's got 34 channels with a total of just under 4 billion total views. So hey,
way to go, Nathan Oakley.
Yep. Looking forward to it.
His channel is in the description box if you've not yet subscribed. I am. You should be too.
He might be able to redo this. You never know. I don't think they'd strike him, but they might. Yeah, they might make him sign a waiver, sort of like I did. I knew up front with Coast to Coast. They made me sign a thing saying not only can we do anything we want with your stuff, but you can't re-upload it.
And they own your home and your cat too, right?
They own, George Norrie. He calls me every once in a while and does one of those, I own you, and hangs up. It's really weird.
You're mine.
You're mine. Which, by the way, is part of the origin of, I know you're not a gamer, but you've probably heard of the term pwned.
Yes, it means something owned.
Yes.
What's the P for, though?
Oh, Lord. Let me tell you this real quick. It takes 60 seconds.
Take longer, because one of my cats seems to be locked in my bedroom, and I've heard meow, meow very pathetically and sadly, and it's breaking my heart. So go. But I'll be able to hear you, but I need to go because it's Rory. Go. I don't know how I locked him in there. All right.
So the origin of pwned, and you may or may not be able to find this on the internet, started out very simply. It started out with the saying, I'm going to kick your ass, which then evolved into I own your ass. Or no, I'm sorry. I'm going to kick your ass followed by, this is an internet, this is before internet. I'm gonna kick your ass, followed by your ass is mine. It shows, you know, possession, followed by I own your ass, followed by, because we keep shortening things, keep shortening and shortening, especially for the internet. We want to make it one syllable. Finally, it was shortened down to owned. So owned means owned your ass. But you'll see on the keyboard, the O and the P are right next to each other. So when you killed somebody or did something really cool in gaming, you'd keep typing owned. I owned you, right? And then eventually somebody typed a P instead of the O, and it went PWNED. And so people just kept pronouncing it pwned, and it became one of those internet elite type things where it's like, oh yeah, I pwned you, pwned, you know, and yeah, even though it actually doesn't say pwned, it's pwned. But that was basically it. And that's all I got the filler for. Let's talk about Patricia's stagehands and how they arranged the pictures this week. You notice every week the pictures are slightly different. You should go back into some previous episodes and take a look at those. Patricia. All right, while she's talking, I'm going to announce some events that are coming up. There is a Flat Earth rally on the Canadian side of Niagara Falls on Canada Day. That's coming up July 1st from noon to 4. The two contacts you can get a hold of there is N as in Nancy, F as in Frank, F as in Frankie, as in Edward at gmail.com, or flatearthhamilton at gmail.com.
Back.
Oh, happy cat. Let's see here. DITRH is doing a billboard that's going up near the conference center. There's a GoFundMe called A Stranger's Guide to FE Billboard. It's going to run September, October, and November. It's a printed billboard. There is a conference called TakeOnTheWorld17.com. Rob Skeebel will be representing Flat Earth there.
Oh, good.
And then, of course, the Danoon Institute of Biblical Research presents the 2017 Summer Conference, August 5th and 6th in Atlanta, Georgia. The highlight of the conference is a live debate, Globe versus Flat Earth, and it's going to be Zen Garcia versus Dr. Stephen Pigeon. That is at the Holiday Inn Gwinnett Center. So it's very fun, and that's just some of them, but you're back.
Growing up with the last name Pigeon, I wonder if that was hard.
Not as hard as growing up with the last name Sargent.
Or Steere, actually.
Yeah, all of them.
No,
although if you were a guy...
I never got any teasing for Steere, by the way. It only has happened since I got into Flat Earth. But then again, that's the way it is sometimes with people.
I always remember the Officer and a Gentleman one. The military. They ask you where you're from. Texas. Only steers and queers, live in Texas. And you don't look like, a steer. So what are you?
I don't know what that means. I mean, does that mean only gay people and castrated male cows live in Texas? That's just
they're trying to break down your masculinity and challenge you.
I see.
Was that Lou Gossett? Lou Gossett Jr.?
Lou Gossett Jr.?
Yeah, he I think was either nominated or won the Best Supporting Actor award for that.
The cats now are being bad. You guys, I should have kept you locked up accidentally. Does your cat Bitsy go places where she shouldn't be and get locked in sometimes too? Nope. Is that a normal thing with cats?
Nope.
Mine go in the closet and I don't know they're there, and then they fall asleep, and then of course I start to show up and meow meow. Leaving is very hard when I leave the house. I have to make sure I see all three. Okay, all three accounted for. Anyway. Nice. There was this article in Science News. I don't know if you saw it. It came out and recently in the 27th of June, so yesterday. It said astronomers detect orbital motion in a pair of supermassive black holes. They say that they used a very long baseline array to detect the orbital motion of two supermassive black holes as they circle each other in the center of a distant galaxy. The two black holes themselves may eventually merge into an event that would produce gravitational waves that ripple across the universe. So this supposedly is the first ever black hole visual binary coming to us from the National Radio Astronomy Observatory. I mean, okay, they're mentioning gravitational.
Load of crap.
They're mentioning gravitational waves, black holes. Oh yeah, there's space and And we have things that are looking at things in space, and soon we'll live in space. Yay!
Yeah. Let's just keep. Yeah. Every space story is just reinforcing the globe. That's all it is. It does not matter what the space story is. Every space story, I don't care how far away or how close. If it's outside of Earth's orbit, all it's doing is telling you it's a globe. That's all it's doing. That's its sole purpose in life.
I wish I could go back in time and not know what I know now, but have some part of me recording what I really thought when I saw a space story. Did my mind think on a subliminal level, space? Yes, we're there. We've been there.
Because it's a real fragile web. They're all connected. Remember, if you believe in the moon missions, then the Mars mission is just an extension of that, and the Pluto missions, and the Jupiter probes, and Saturn probes, and then the long and to that effect, the long distance telescope shots that they claim. Oh yeah, here's the nebula. It's all tied together. It's all part of the same fake universe.
I do want to mention something. DITRH just said, the chat is broken and I blame your cats. And he put 3 cats with some sad faces. Yes, the chat's been broken today, the 28th of June, 2017, in many YouTube.
Yeah, it's not just you. It's a YouTube thing. It's all over the place. You guys can go to any of the other Flat Earth Hangouts. Now, if you want to see if you believe in conspiracies, go to a non-Flat Earth Hangout and see if it's still broken. Just pop in there.
Well, there's some people in chat, not as many as normal. I think it's only those who have mobile devices that are able to be in chat. I think.
By the way, can I ask?
I'm looking at a mobile device
because I'm sure people are wondering.
Yes.
Where does one acquire a jacket like that? I'm guessing it's either off the set of Barbarella, or there was a casting party to Barbarella that was in Studio 54, and you just grabbed it on your way out.
Yes, I'd say. Yes, it's both of those. And I am Barbarella, a new conspiracy. But if you don't know what that movie is, it is an interesting visual. It's a holographic faux leather jacket. I don't know why I have it, but I do. It's kind of cool. Kind of has a rainbow.
Oh, really. No, it's got that all over the place.
Speaking of rainbows, I found it disheartening. And I know this is going to sound bad to some people, and I don't mean this the way it sounds, but I did see everywhere on YouTube, they had the rainbow flag, the gay pride flag everywhere. And somehow it just bothered me. And I don't know why. It just seems like everything is an agenda these days. I'm not saying that, anything about people who happen to be gay, but everything seems to be pushed. And I saw an advertisement for a car. I don't remember what car it was, but it was a car company using the gay pride flag and event to promote cars. So using a bunch of people who are gay and trans and bi walking and talking about how, I don't know. Everyone who's watching might have seen it. It comes up on YouTube.
I thought I had actually clicked on something in YouTube to make that happen, because I was looking for music tracks for the
it's everywhere. That ad is everywhere.
The promo stuff, and I clicked on, if you remember, the 80s avant-garde artist Laurie Anderson.
Laurie Anderson, yes. She played the violin on a block of ice. Performance art at its finest. Oh. And she was, I believe it was Lou Reed's wife or live-in significant other.
Yep, until he died.
Yes.
Yep, yeah. And I loved her. I thought she was great.
Too.
There was only 2 tracks that I really loved. I mean, I actually had 2 of her tracks on my mixtapes back in the day.
Superman.
And Languages of Iris.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Which was good, and I'm going to use those as the promos. Anyway, so I was clicking on those, and then as I was going through her catalog of interviews, her interviews are great. And of course, you're growing up, you don't get to see these interviews because there was no internet. Now you can see any interview of any artist you ever thought of, and it was fascinating watching her, because what she did, like Superman, she was in her late 30s.
Mm-hmm. She was.
I did not know this.
Short hair.
She still has short hair. She's still around now. She's 70.
Yes. Yeah.
And still
doing music.
Oh, yeah. And film now. She directs stuff. Avant-garde film. Anyway, the point was, as I was doing that, I noticed the rainbow flag up in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And the animation is weird how they did it. The whole little thing vibrates, at least in high resolution. I was going,
it's like the flag on the moon moving.
Yeah, and I'm going, okay, is Laurie Anderson gay? I thought because I was browsing this stuff.
Oh, I see. I see.
I thought it was like, oh, you know how YouTube recommends to you. It's like YouTube now recommending your sexual preference. I'm going,
well, YouTube is recommending a sexual preference that you should discover. It's like it's promoting it or something. And no matter what I looked at, that ad came up. That's what I'm here to say.
The peanut gallery asked me about that. And I actually clicked on the flag just to, just to see where it led and the whole.
Yeah, where did it go? I never clicked on it.
Oh, it goes to a special 2-minute gay pride's big production trailer.
Now, is it the one where people are walking and it's for a car, or is it a whole?
No, it's the whole shooting match. It's the entire community. So I'll send it to you. But the point was, the peanut gallery was asking me, hey, what's the deal? Why kind of like you, why is YouTube promoting this? They only represent 10% of the population. Why do this? And
that's the thing.
And I go,
what's weird about it?
I go, here's my take on it. My take is, what other outlets does the gay community have unrestricted wise? They can't get on mainstream, so they are prominent in the YouTube community. Let's face it. I mean, you want to look up gay videos and LB crap. What is it again? LBGT?
TFO. No.
Well, it's LBGT, right? I don't want to. Yeah. I don't want to screw it up.
But
anyway,
we all know.
The point is they've got a massive presence on YouTube, and if you hit the right producers on the way up, right executives, it's like, hey, let's do a week for them. They represent X percentage of our YouTube videos and X percentage of views.
And a lot of content providers on YouTube as well.
A lot of content providers.
A lot of makeup tutorials, makeup gurus.
Yeah. It's not just, how I used to joke. It's like, without the gay culture, there would be no Broadway. Right, the Tonys wouldn't even exist.
This jacket probably wouldn't have existed.
That jacket would not exist.
Probably made by a gay designer. I mean, that's it sounds like we're really generalizing, and we're being. Would the word prejudice come into play?
No. Stereotype is quicker.
We're not even stereotyping. This is something I've noticed on YouTube, and it wasn't happening last year. And people say, "Oh, there's a push for this sort of thing," and it truly does seem to be that there is. Is it nefarious, or is it just? No, everything's nefarious. Let's get real.
YouTube will catch some backlash for it. Sure, absolutely they will. Because look, out of the people I've talked to, several have said, what is the deal with the flag up in the corner?
Right.
And I didn't even see the commercial that was pushing on your side. So anyway, it's out there, and I understand. I get it. I totally get it.
Bling bling, the BS of the ISS says it's LGTBQ.
No, it's not. It's 4 letters officially.
No, there's Q2. Q is on the end, and I don't know what's
Q. Wait. LG. Okay.
LGBTQ.
Lesbian, gay, bi, transgender.
And then questioning. I'm only Q word I can think of.
Q isn't even a word or a letter, right?
Q is a letter.
Well, but I mean, you know what I mean. Q isn't used in anything. Q and X, they're not used in anything.
Question then.
Question?
Maybe it's questioning. That's what it means.
It's the only word. Question.
Yeah. Or queen, but that wouldn't make sense.
Queen applies, but
no, it wouldn't, because that would be just
it's too specific.
So it's
anyway, we should probably move on, because otherwise people are gonna start giving us crap.
Bling bling says the A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S T V W X Y Z community. So pretty much.
There you go. The alphabet. Well, they say that about the intelligence community.
Oh,
what alphabet?
Queer is what it is. The Q stands for queer.
What? Because the first 4 don't apply, and queer is its own separate thing.
Questioning was even made more sense.
No, I'm still just gonna use 4.
Time in my life, I questioned my sexuality. There was never a time in my life I even thought, do I like boys or do I like girls?
Can't we say it's just the gay community? Can't we say that?
Yeah, but you know how people are. They want their
own. Because the lesbian wants lesbian, and gay applies to men, and bisexual is that, and what's the last one? Oh, transgender.
See, I don't want when everyone says, you women over there, come form a line over here. I don't say, well, I'm not just a woman, I'm a redhead. So you need to say redheads. And then somebody's going to pipe up and say, and blondes, and then, and brunettes. It's ridiculous. So why can't we just say gay community?
It's another reason why the civilization is coming to a conclusion. We've fragmented now almost down to the granular level. You remember when Columbia House only had 3 music choices? You remember
that? You mean like
Columbia House record and tapes?
Yes, I remember. I rember being a member of Columbia House.
I was a member 3 times. And
I was a member multiple times because every time you re-signed up, you
got a whole other batch
free
of
albums.
Oh, yeah, it was great. As long as you stayed on top of it, it was great. But it was rock, jazz, and country. Yeah, I think it was just 3. Yeah, rock included basically everything. Top 40. I remember
getting 8-track tapes.
Yeah, it dates you.
Yeah, well, like I've said before, if I don't date me, who else will? 8-track tapes. I remember an 8-track tape that an ex-boyfriend put. He put an 8-track tape machine aftermarket, of course, in my Triumph Spitfire 1979 car. He put it in the car, and I only had one 8-track, which was his, and I didn't even like the band or the artist, Jackson Browne, and it got stuck in there, and so I know the album "Running on Empty," I think is the name of the album. I know
it's at least a good song.
It's okay. I know those songs to the point where the one song where it goes chick chick and clicks over to the other side. I even know that where that pause is if I ever hear that album on the 8-track today. So 8-tracks, wow. We really have come a long way technology-wise when it comes to music, and we've gone back to records. Like the albums behind me being the cool thing again.
Yes and no. The majority of the population now is all MP3s, yeah. But
there's nothing like getting a record, looking at the art on the record.
Oh yeah.
Especially like a gatefold, opening it up and looking and reading and looking at the pictures of the artist or the artwork and being able to find the lyrics. I mean, before there was the internet, that's where you'd find the lyrics to songs and realize you had a case of chronic lyricosis and we're singing the lyrics all wrong. Yeah. And then taking it out and then putting it on the turntable and lifting up the tone arm, or if you had the automatic kind. And that noise at first, it was like a sizzling sound, and then the record playing, and there's something about it that was beautiful that's lost, but then we've gained convenience with it.
That's what it always was about,
right? But convenience isn't everything. We've got convenient foods, microwave foods. Those will kill you.
Don't tell the general public convenience isn't everything. That's what it always is. Again, I will quote Sun Tzu, The Art of War, and that is, people are like water. They will always take the path of least resistance. Always. They will go for convenience over substance. And with microwave popcorn, I am and I know we're going off on a rant here. We're not talking about.
No, well, you know what? The show is about rants and going off on tangents. So please continue.
Microwave popcorn. I am old school. I cook popcorn old. Put the oil in the pan.
I love it. Me too.
It's the best taste. It's been around forever.
And it smells better too. And the feeling of making it is a good feeling.
Yeah. Microwave popcorn. Put it in the thing. Hit the button. 2 minutes. Depending on the microwave. That's the tricky part. And then you got your bag of popcorn.
And the microwave stinks forever after of popcorn.
If you burn it. Oh, yeah. How many people have gone into an office? Well, I'm sorry. How many times a year do people burn microwave popcorn in an office? That's annoying.
But I did like, when I was really young, for sleepover parties with my girlfriends, Jiffy Pop. Anybody remember Jiffy Pop? I don't know if it's still around.
It is.
It is like a pan, but it's got tin foil, probably horribly bad for you, aluminum, on top, and then it puffs up like a human head full of the popcorn, and that was really fun.
It's
you could see it.
In fact, you know what? I'm going to look that up because I don't even know.
Now I'm hungry for popcorn.
Now I got to find it. Sorry. So what else were we?
Jiffy Pop popcorn came out when there was other space age foods that came out. That was very cutting edge during its time. I think probably in the 60s. Did you ever hear of Pillsbury Space Sticks? Anybody older will, or if you're younger, look them up. They were they look like Slim Jims. They were long, brown, cylindrical, snack sticks, breakfast sticks that tasted chocolatey, that they advertised as being what astronauts ate in space. And of course, we had them because they were cutting edge and they had all your nutritional requirements. I'm sure if I looked at what was in those things now, I would not touch it with a 10-foot space stick. But yeah, Pillsbury space sticks, part of that wave of those convenience foods, instant foods brought about by the space race, so to speak.
Right.
Weird.
Like much like Tang. By the way,
Tang.
Jiffy Pop is down to one version now, which is one stovetop version, the butter flavored popcorn, as of 2016, only as of last year. And it's still out there. You can buy it on Amazon. In fact, you know what? Because of you, I may actually go out and buy some of those.
Good old memories. But then again, and you've got the aluminum in there, and they say Alzheimer's perhaps. But is that true? Is it true?
I don't know. I mean, remember, soda is in aluminum cans.
Yeah, but soda's bad for you for other reasons.
Well, yeah, but it's in aluminum cans, and that's not the first thing people jump to.
Right.
When they think about bad things.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Well, let me go into the live chat, even if we don't have a full complement of people, and see what's going on. See who's in here. Something weird's going on. Martin Leakey's talking about space dust. Oh my gosh. Keith M1 says Jiffy are condoms in the UK. Wow. Oh, don't order that. Just heard from Stock Jockey. The Jiffy Pop is GMO corn. Yeah, I forgot about that. Indeed it is. Somebody
look up if Orwell Redenbacher is also a GM.
Probably. Any name brand. You're going to have to just buy organic, pretty much.
It's tough to do when you're looking for kernels.
Yeah, no, you can find organic. I have it in my house.
Organic kernels?
Organic kernels. Yes, indeed. Awakened Mind is talking about candy cigarettes. Candy cigarettes. I remember bubblegum cigars. Wow, all these things that they were promoting to us when we were kids.
The worst thing I ever saw. I mean, candy cigarettes are horrible to begin with because they promote.
They were fun though, and they tasted that wintergreen sort of dusty texture. They were fun.
They're promoting cigarettes to children.
But I had them like Halloween, some neighbor would give them to you. And, at that time, my mom and dad both smoked when I was really little.
They're promoting
I never started smoking.
They're not still out there, are they?
Probably. And my sister and brother never started smoking. So did that promotion of cigarettes really actually work or not?
Oh, God, yes. I mean, not as much as putting cigarettes. The biggest thing they did, which was a marketing genius, was when they put cigarettes into the meals ready to eat for the troops in World War II.
I didn't know that that's how that happens.
Yeah, they put a couple packs of cigarettes, and as you know, it was sort of a stress reliever. And so people that never would have thought about smoking in the foxholes were smoking up like chimneys. And when they came back, they were lifelong smokers.
Interesting. Tamaya says all yellow corn is genetically modified. Look it up on Wiki. Wizlaw is talking about Jell-O products and that they are bone. Yep, indeed. Gelatin is animal bone, like hooves and that sort of thing. Plain Truth is yelling out Pop Rocks. Yeah, Pop Rocks. Pop Rocks.
And of course, the famous myths that surrounded Pop Rocks.
Yes.
Which is if you got Pop Rocks and I think 7-Up and you put it in your mouth at the same time and chugged a certain amount and mixed it up,
you'd explode.
You would die.
Yeah. Oh, well, same thing, right?
Yeah,
that's very, very 80s Pop Rocks. They're good. You can still find those too. And I'm sure they're totally bad for you.
Talk about a novelty toy or novelty food.
No, Corey Edmondson says that candy cigarettes got him to smoke at a young age. Huh.
That's what do you think they're for?
How come they didn't work on me?
Because
I thought smoking was gross.
You were somewhat resistant to these things?
Right. I don't usually follow the trends, but I thought smoking was gross. My mom smoked and dad smoked. They quit in the 80s. But when I was little, everyone smoked back then, in the 60s and 70s.
Oh, yeah. 60s was a big thing.
Yeah, definitely. So they smoked. My mom, I think, started smoking when she was 15, used to sneak smoking, and my father as well. Before
you were lucky.
Yeah.
A lot of people weren't so lucky.
Yeah. And my sister and her daughter doesn't smoke. Her fiance doesn't smoke. My brother, his girlfriend, no smokers. So I guess that's good. Hey to Jack Frost and Keanu Collins and Earth Discernment, who says, I'm not here. Okay. Wesley Stays Flat Earth News is here, and Jason Mia. And Christopher is here and says, OJ on the moon is actually to cover up a conspiracy about smudges on some of the photos. Maybe that's why they're therefore tang. Do you remember that? They said they spilled orange juice on some of the photos.
Yeah, I mean, it was a partial cover, but it didn't matter. The iconic photos were still out there.
Yeah. Way BMX is here. Donald Putnam, Ukdina Walker. Oh, and I want to say hello to Ukdina on a special way, more than my normal hello, because she just had some oral surgery and it was pretty horrendous, and she's through it, and she's better, and she's getting better every day. And anybody who's ever had anybody do anything in your mouth, even filling a cavity, even cleaning, I hate even getting my teeth cleaned. My teeth are so sensitive because I brushed them too hard when I was younger. Getting oral surgery is not a day at the park. It's no picnic. So Ukdina, we hope you are continuing to get better.
Hang in there, Ukdina.
Hang in there. Everyone's saying, yeah, popcorn over the stove is a way to go. Ukdina says, throw away the microwave. This house I bought came with a microwave. It's just sitting there. Now, there was a time.
It was built into the wall?
No, it's built into a little nook. But the thing is that I left it there because I can't think of what I'm going to put in that nook. It's built for a microwave. I guess I could put books in there. I just left it there. But there was a time, even as aware as I feel that I am, this was a year ago, 2 years ago, something like that, I would buy a coffee at Starbucks or something and heat it up in the microwave if it got cold.
Sure. Oh, are you kidding? The microwave, again, convenience.
But that's horrible for you, though. I mean, just the microwave in general, it's exciting, the particles inside.
Actually, and a lot of people, I joked about this because they've been around now for, what, 40 years, and most people do not know how they work without looking it up. They don't vibrate the molecules.
That's what I thought.
They reverse the polarity on them. So
that's natural.
So they spit. So imagine if this watch was the molecule. It's spinning it. It's flipping it over back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and that is sort of the vibrating motion.
What if you put a fidget spinner in a microwave?
So it's not doing this. It's actually flipping it back and forth, and that flipping motion of the polarity is what's giving you the heat.
Okay, so that's the exciting of the molecules that I've heard.
Yes.
Interesting. Stay away from the microwave, kids. It's my advice to you. Next,
or you can make a plasma in it. Poor man's plasma.
Wait, how? Now that might be interesting.
Well, yeah, but you got to be careful because you could burn out your microwave. It'll just break. And where you take a candle, a short candle, you light it, you put a glass over the top of it, fire up the microwave, and it'll turn the flame into plasma.
Like those plasma balls that you touch, like you got at Spencer's Gifts.
Well, yeah, a little different. In fact, rather than doing it yourself, you might want to watch a few people do it on YouTube because there's plenty of people that did it on YouTube, and you watch the microwave because if you leave it in too long, it'll crackle, and then all of a sudden, boom, and then the microwave's dead. That's it.
Microwaves freak me out. I remember we were the first one in my family to get one on our block, and same as getting a VCR, a Betamax.
We were one of them too. It was huge. It was 1970.
It was huge. Yep.
And
microwave had just like one button, chunk chunk, to turn it on.
This one was pretty. This one was pretty high end, and it was we used that thing a lot. My dad was.
Oh, we used it too.
I'm gonna make you breakfast. It's like what? So a couple eggs in a bowl, some cheese, nuke it.
Yep, I can't. I don't even believe that I'm alive now. Am I? Because of the things I would make in the microwave in the 80s. Breakfast before school. This was when I was vegetarian. Okay, so I still ate eggs, and this was when at like 16, and cheese. So I would take water, crack an egg into a plastic bowl, which is bad anyway, and then mix it up, and then nuke it, as we said back then, in the microwave, and then it would puff up and make like a scrambled egg sort of quiche looking thing, and then I'd put some grated cheese on top. I'd eat that for breakfast before school. How I am still alive today, I do not know.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, a little flat Earth shout out. I've got to mention to you. You know, because I get physical stuff in the mail.
Oh, neat.
I got something from a guy named Johnny Armstrong. Johnny Armstrong.
I know what that is.
Do you? Why? Did you get one?
Keep going. Keep opening it.
Oh, you suck if you got one. I thought it was Anyway, it is a flat Earth t-shirt in the YouTube format.
Oh, so cool.
Research Flat Earth. Join us. Join us. So there you go. Research Flat Earth.
Yes. And they make all sorts of great shirts. And last week, the one that talked about flat Earth, that I have 3 cats and I believe the Earth is flat, was from them. So.
Oh, right on.
Same thing. Yeah. Yeah. You have a different one than I do because you don't have 3 cats. You've only got 1.
It's a research flat. I dig it though. I
think it's really great. Actually, in fact, that would be a great billboard. Oh, wait, somebody already did that.
They did.
All right, let's talk about something that many in our live chat have been waiting to know about, and many who are viewing this who saw last Wednesday's episode of The Secret Show. You put on 2 pair of glasses. You started with the red ones.
Yep.
And then you went to the black ones, and we voted in the chat. Everyone liked the black ones better. And then you said the red ones were
a movie reference
to a movie, and everyone guessed what movie, and no one got it right.
They had to email me. Yeah.
They'll tell everyone what movie it was.
It is Buckaroo Banzai from the mid-'80s. You can look it up. Peter Weller, when he was addressing the press about when he drove through a mountain, was wearing some red, and I believe they were bigger framed Ray-Bans. And I'm having a devil of a time finding them. So if anybody finds the exact ones that Buckaroo Banzai got, let me know.
What year did that movie come out approximately? Well, you'll know exactly, knowing you.
So hang on, I'll find it.
Because in the 80s, Ray-Bans they were very big in the 50s, but they got a resurgence due to what movie?
Risky Business.
Yep, Tom Cruise, and the song. I
have to guess, by the way.
And that's and that song where he's dancing, kind of with a. Well, you tell me what he was wearing when he was dancing. When Bob,
he was wearing a white button-down shirt.
Rock and roll. Well, people believe different things about what he's wearing.
Oh, it was 84.
The Mandela effect.
It was 84.
Makes sense because Buckaroo Banzai, 84, red glasses. They happen to be Ray-Bans. But, look, a Rory sighting on the jukebox, if anybody can see that. Hey, Rory, what are you
Tom Cruise with the black Ray-Bans.
Right.
It's because of that movie, by the way, I almost bought. I was hunting for a Porsche 928. But do you know who does not like Porsche 928s? Women.
Buddy? Oh, no,
women.
I think they're nice.
Every woman that I talked to said they felt it was shaped sort of like an egg because it has that sort of eggy back end to it.
Yes,
end. And I was like, I could not get a good consensus. It was like everybody I talked to was like, all right, fine.
What car in general do you think women do like?
Currently or back then?
Back then. Let's say back then.
Oh, back then, white convertibles. That's what they like. They still like white convertibles. In fact, you want to go back to the 80s? Okay, a white Volkswagen Cabriolet.
Yes.
That's pretty. If you drove one of those, well, one, you were probably gay anyway if you were a guy. But every girl loved those. They thought they were great.
Mm-hmm. What year? 81?
I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan.
I couldn't release.
Do I like white cabriolets?
Yeah.
I like Volkswagens, but I mean, cabriolets are cool. Don't get me wrong. I like white cars in general. I just don't know why. Women are drawn to convertibles, white convertibles. They are. Guys don't. Guys should actually remember that.
I wonder what the history of the Volkswagen Cabriolet is, what year it came out and all that, because it was just
Do I have to really do this research while you're doing this?
Yes, please. I mean, I think I had one in 3 out of high school, because my first car was a Triumph Spitfire, which was a convertible, which was a 79.
Started off as the Volkswagen Golf.
Yeah, well, I'm not quite sure, but it was beautiful. It was a beautiful car, and I had to have it, and I had it, and drove it till the wheels fell off. So, not literally, by the way. Boy, we're on a tangent. I don't even know what kind of a show.
Were we supposed to talk? Okay, what else? What else we can talk about? Don't let me forget. By the way, there was during the good, bad, and ugly comments. I forgot the one that was on my phone. and I want to read it so that I can actually get rid of it.
Not now. Now?
No, right this second. But yeah, I do want to do it during the show. Just one.
Oh, do it now since we're talking.
All right. All right.
Well, wait, then I've got to counter with something then. Not counter because, you know,
You don't have to.
I want to read one
Do
too.
you have any good stuff to?
I do. I have one that's really, really good. And then we can promote the next time we're going to do it just for fun.
Okay, so
You go
as you
first.
guys
Yours
know,
is way better.
I get bad comments every once in a while. Most of them are in YouTube videos, but this one actually came across my phone. I do not get a lot of people that are trolling me on my phone.
Wait, how did it go on your phone?
What?
You got text it or email?
I got texted on my phone. Well, yeah, because people still think that I will respond to text. I've never sent a text in my life, but I do receive text. You can't turn off texting on your phone. You can ignore them, but you can't turn it off. They're just always
a challenge. Probably every woman in your life's like, he'll be the first one.
No, I literally do not care if you're on fire. I've said this a million times. In fact, I will challenge anybody. Send me a thing. You think I'm kidding you? Anybody out there with a ton of money, say that if you text me back, I will give you $100,000, and I won't.
What?
Because just for that. But you have to text me. It's like, no, I don't care. It's the principle of the thing. This little device. I mean, there's a reason why I put out that video I did about, you know, the mirror for Robbie. Robbie's video, which was also taken off from a different guy, is dead on. These things are dangerous.
Robbie D, Celebrate Truth, came out with a great video, and it's a portion, the drawing of sort of animation is by someone who I can't think of his name right now, but it was in the movie. We're the worst.
It's from his movie. He used that.
Well, no, that animation is from a movie.
Oh, I did not know that.
The name of the movie escapes me now. Maybe somebody in live chat can say.
It's very, very true. Look, not only did the smartphone, we all heard the smartphone and the pad became like the everything killer because it killed off so many devices in so many industries. But I still believe it's going to wipe out. You know, it's one of the catalysts of why our civilization is going down the drains. Anyway, with that in mind, happy good things. Let me read this wonderful comment by this guy. Right?
When did you receive it?
I got it a while ago. I got this 4 weeks ago.
By the way, we do a show, and we've done 2 so far. We're going to do one each month, so you'll have to wait till July to get the next one, around July 20th, give or take, 25th. I don't know when we'll do it. But we're calling it The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly Flat Earth Comments. We've collected comments from our past secret shows and then working our way toward the present time. All the negative comments and a few nice ones just so we don't, you know, lose it. And that's where these comments come from. So since you missed this one during our last show,
just give you a little taste of what's happening out there. Why I don't read the comments as much as I do, because I would probably just curl up into a fetal position and die. Okay. Hey, is this Mark Sargent? Pause. Yeah, I figured you was a phony, just like your stupid ass documentary. Wake up and smell the coffee, dumbass. When I look through my telescope, you telling me I'm watching a movie, not seeing the beautiful things in our universe? It's sad that you really believe this shite. You're a sad and lonely individual. And I wish I had 5 minutes to tell you to your face that you need to wake up out of your dream. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
deleted.
Exactly. And double deleted.
Yep.
The Celebrate Truth video, the artist's name is Steve Cutts, and he has also done a video called Man.
Where he walks through killing all the animals.
Right, exactly.
That is horrifying.
But Celebrate the video that Robbie D of Celebrate Truth did is it's not his most recent one, which is 24-hour live streams. This is called Last Days on Flat Earth, and he did this video. And it's already got 6.1 thousand views, and I'm giving it another thumbs up, and I've already shared it. And this video has Steve Cutts animation in it, and it's really sad, as you say, and stupendously done, but it shows people kind of like looking at their phones and just not.
Oh, I knew, and I'm sorry. And I know that most of the people that are watching us now, I mean, heck, there's probably some people watching us on their phones.
I'm using my phone to read the chat.
But I knew when I was in Boulder going through campus, you know, as these phones were being introduced into the population, as I was driving through campus, students that were normally looking up and doing things, interacting with others, They were basically locked in place, staring at their phone. And the bus stops are the most notorious, where literally nobody was looking up. In fact, they had to wait till they weren't even looking for the bus. Now, most of the time you're looking. It's like, when's the bus coming? No, they were just glued to their phone and waited until, the bus absolutely stopped and you heard that noise. Then they reacted and got on the bus. And Stephen King made in fact, you want to see an interesting movie, a little obscure movie. Stephen King wrote a story on it. He called it, by the way, it was the Volkswagen Golf. It changed into the Golf Cabriolet, the convertible version, named the Golf Cabriolet or Type 156.
In the 80s, early 80s.
Yeah.
Because when I had it, that's what it was.
Yeah. Just so you know.
I want to say, while you're looking that up, hello to Frank Bocciccio and Save Our Future, America and Humanity, and Donald Putnam, and Zulu One, and Wambra, and FAQC, and Endomaniac, and Jeremiah Daniel, and Mariah. Mariah wants to know why we even want to read those negative comments. It's a total waste of time. I'd rather go for a walk. She's right. Well, the reason that we read them and have those shows, because they're I don't know, I think that they're useful. They're sort of a teachable moment, so that those of us who get these sort of comments you can relate to us, because you probably get those comments yourself, and it makes you feel more, okay, it's not just me who's getting trolled.
So you don't run into a big face full of shock when you make your first YouTube video and you wonder why it's being attacked. Like, look, we've seen it. The YouTube videos, like, flat Earth videos, get attacked routinely, harshly, illogically. Okay, sorry. So the movie, by the way, was last year. It was with John Cusack and Samuel L. Jackson, called Cell, literally CELL, 2016. When a mysterious cell phone signal causes apocalyptic chaos, an artist is determined to reunite with his young son in New England. And it's not super well made. I don't even know what it did anything in the theaters. But at the same time, you'll appreciate it if you're not a big fan of cell phones or what cell phones are doing. So Cell, check it out. You can download it, rip it, whatever.
Well, a lot of people think that cell towers are going to eventually be weaponized, used to basically kill us. Since we were talking about microwave ovens earlier, that they're basically microwave ovens on a pole, and they are intended, purpose-built actually, to, at some time in the future, whenever they feel like they want to do it, to basically pull the plug, is weaponize them, and then we can be cooked in our own flesh like human baked potatoes.
You need a lot of power. The wattage it takes to run a microwave oven. Multiply that by a huge. The people that I've talked to that work on cell towers, they don't have that. Now, if you saw people all of a sudden hooking up, parking huge portable generators next to these towers, then I would get worried. But the power that they can output now, the frequency, sure, but not doesn't have the wattage to do it. Just saying.
I just found something here that gives more info, whether or not it's correct. You be the judge. But it says the towers are not for a transfer of data, or data, I say data, but are weaponized structures capable of transmitting huge amounts of deadly radio wave energy for multiple nefarious usages, And the power of these towers is deadly and exponential. As a comparison, 2 hairdryers use about 2,400 watts of power, the same amount of the power a telecommunication satellite uses, to send a signal 20,000 miles back down to Earth. The Earth's circumference, my God, space programming in this random thing that I just found. Yes. The power of 2 hairdryers, blah, blah, blah. 1 tower equals 300 microwave ovens. So
even 300 microwave ovens would not be able to reach that far.
There'd be a lot of popcorn just spontaneously popping, though. That's one thing.
Well, if the popcorn was popping,
and we'd be popping too.
Yeah, so well, it wouldn't be popping. You'd just cook.
From the inside out. Just think about that.
By the way, a little quick.
That's cheery.
I didn't bring it up. You're the one with the
no,
darkness.
You brought it up.
What part did I bring up?
I don't know. I'm just feeling like I should blame you.
All right. Anyway, so on to a happier thing, or we'll see. The Fort
500
Collins
other ways to die on the Secret Show.
10 different ways you can kill people and get away with it. Next up, the Fort Collins meetup. They did another one Tuesday, last night. And before that, they did one with Bob and ODD, and the Denver Post showed up, right? So get this. So they actually showed up again to the meetup last night.
Ooh.
But a different guy. So I'm not gonna name him because I don't want to give any trolls any more tip-offs than they already have, because I know it's been mentioned. But the guy that initially covered it, he's no longer on the article, has been reassigned to a senior reporter.
Is that a step up or a step down?
I think it's a step up, because if he was just going to blow it off, he wouldn't even show. If you're just going to kill the story, yeah, you reassign it and then you kill the story. But if you reassign it and then that guy immediately goes to the very next meetup, I don't know what that means. An expose?
We'll keep watching.
Yeah.
Did you, since when I left, when you were talking about various meetups, did you talk about FEA and ODD and anybody else with acronyms who are meeting in Denver?
No, because I didn't even know. In
Hour?
fact, here, let me pull up mine.
Half hour from now, give or take.
I did not even. Yeah, they're going to be like real soon. I didn't even know until this morning that he was going to be there, because he tries to, he tries to make it as last minute as possible. So I just literally this morning when I watch him going, what's Jake doing? He's driving. I thought he was in New York. He's driving to Denver. That is his last stop before he goes back to California. He may go out again. We'll see. But he is going to be at and I'll pull this sucker up right now.
Something like the Good Friends Bar, but I know that's not the name.
The Watering Bowl. So no, you weren't close. The relaxed hangout featuring craft beer and classic bar fare, plus an airy patio and private dog park. It's at 54.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, 5411 Leetsdale Drive in Denver, Colorado. The hours are 11 to midnight, and the phone number you can call is 720-217-7838. That's the restaurant, not Jake's personal phone. And so, yeah, he's going to be there in
about a half hour or
so. About a half hour from now.
All right. What's the name of the place in Denver where FEA is meeting up and ODD and who knows
it's
who else?
Called the Watering Bowl.
I had the name all wrong.
What were you thinking?
Maybe its sub name is like a good friends hangout or a place for friends to hang out or something.
I don't know.
Their tagline. I think I saw that somewhere. Or I'm losing my mind. Or both.
I don't know. But yeah, he's going to be there in half an hour, and he's going to be there for at least 3 or 4 hours. And I think ODD is going to be there as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Bob's going to be there. Bob actually duplicated on his channel. So the trailer is on Jake's channel. It's on ODD's. It's on Bob's. It's on mine. Hope you guys get a lot of people there. This is not the identical. It's not the same people that did the Denver meetup, which was visited by trolls who should be killed. It was. It's a completely different group, even though trolls should be killed at this one as well.
Well, I hope there's no trolls that show up at my event, which is coming up on Sunday. Sunday the 2nd, actually, of July.
Well, the good news is that even if a troll did show up, they would not be filmed, because a troll would never sign the release form. Because in order to show up on said documentary, you have to sign a release, like Nathan did, to say that, hey, we get to use your likeness. And
on that note, I don't know if we've told people, or we kind of referenced it, that a documentary team actually had been out to Whidbey Island in Washington State, where you live, followed you around for a few days, got some footage to put a documentary together, and then they're making their way here to my house, meeting up with me in my house Saturday, and then Sunday is my Flat Earth mixer. So they're going to go to the mixer, and they're going to film it for the documentary. Daniel is the main guy that's... he met with you. He seems really nice.
Really nice guy.
With him off camera as well. And, what do you call it? On Skype.
Right.
but not during a show like this. And he's coming here. We're going to meet up on Saturday, like I just said. And then he's coming to the mixer and he's going to film that to use in the documentary. So a lot of flat earthers who attend my Flat Earth Mixer at La Griglia Italian restaurant in Houston will get not only free 4-course meal, and it's all going to be vegan, but it's not going to be radishes and lettuce. It's going to be real dishes that are delicious. I did this mixer last year and everyone raved about the food, and it's not going to cost you anything. So, hey, why not come? The event will be filmed by Daniel off and on for the documentary. So you'll get to say, maybe be interviewed while you're there at the event. And then I have a really nice guy who is going to be coming, whose name is Ray, and he does photo and video for a living and is going to film it's going to be too many people film the event so I could use it for YouTube videos later. So there's going to be dueling filming going on.
And if you don't want to be on the documentary, all you have to do is say you don't want to be in the documentary.
Yeah, you can still be at the event, and you just, when they're filming it, just sort of, they'll know, okay.
You'll end up just like the missing Osborne sister.
Yeah, just don't, they'll be like, there was more people there, but we...
A lot of people do know that Ozzy Osbourne, the Osbournes television show, there was an older sister.
Oh,
and they had to shoot around her in some scenes because she would not sign the thing. She's like, I don't want to be a part of this. And so you only saw the younger sister and the brother and the mother and the father. The older sister just wasn't.
That's kind of cool of her. Yeah. Very unlike the Kardashians, where each new Kardashian's like, yeah, I'll be on the show. Yeah.
Cool, but you better own it at that point. Meaning later, if somebody, like you want to drop a name, it's like, oh yeah, I'm such and such. Let's say her name's Cindy. I'm Cindy Osborne. Yeah, daughter of Ozzy, oldest daughter of Ozzy. I was like, no, you're not. I watched the television show. You weren't even on it. Yeah, I know. And then you have to go into the whole song and dance. So
interesting. You're not a real Osborne. You weren't on that show.
Exactly.
I have RSVP still being taken till Saturday morning at around 11. And all you need to do is email me your name on a, brief little letter saying I'm coming to the mixer in Houston, and I'll know you're coming. So that's Miss Steere, MISSSTEERE @gmail.com. And here are the people going thus far. The guy who's doing the filming, who is a flat earther, who's not completely out of the closet. Then we've got the guy making the documentary named Daniel, who's not a flat earther, but we're going to convince him. And then we've got Dorset, who was there last year. We've got a guy named Adam Young, who is coming. And who else do we have? Oops. I have to moisten my finger to turn this page. Don't ever do that when you're counting money, because that's very germy. But this is my own paper, so it's clean. David Blackson is coming to the dinner too. We have, that was Ray, sorry, that I just mentioned, who's doing the filming. J. Patrick Campbell, Braden Campbell, and Andrea Campbell. So it's a family affair. We've got Chip Baker, who does music for Your Strange World, Mark, who's going to be coming with
Chip Baker's going to show up.
Yeah, with Diane Baker.
That's really cool.
Diane has a service dog who's coming too, named Roxy. So we're going to be inside. Last year I did it outside, but this year we're going to have the mixer inside. So Roxy, the service dog, can be there. Diane says that they have 3 cats, just like I do, but they don't have a big wheel like mine do. And the cats won't be going to the mixer. Neither will mine. But that would be cool if they could. Alex Aquarius is going to. And we've got Rick Mayer going as well. But there's still room for a few more. And please message me if you'd like to go and meet up and hang out with fellow flat earthers and have a lovely meal and just, enjoy the feeling of being around people of like mind. So, yeah, that's my promo for my event, which is Sunday in Houston, Texas. Sunday is July 2nd, 2017. It's the 2nd annual Flat Earth Mixer. Okay. What else we got?
Do you want me to list off the events that are still going to happen? We might as well, since we won't have a chance to do it next week. So the first is on the Saturday, the second is on Sunday. So there are a couple other meetups happening. One is going to be in Jacksonville on, one sec. There's one in Denver on July 11th. The Fort Collins one is always every Tuesday now. There's going to be another one coming up pretty soon. The Jacksonville, Florida one's going to be on July 1st. Let me punch that one up real fast. And I'm pretty sure the rumor has it is that You've Been Exposed is going to show up to that one.
Oh.
In fact, it looks, count me in. Yes, Flat Earth Family. You've Been Exposed. Going to show up.
By the way, I've been calling it You've Been Exposed, but the other day I had the Mandela effect, which I'm not quite sure if I believe in. When I looked at the channel and the name is You Been Exposed.
Well, yeah, it's always been You've Been Exposed.
I know it's not Mandela, but
that whole street thing.
Yeah, I know. But
I am not going to do it.
Then I sound so Caucasian.
Oh my God, Becky.
You've been exposed.
Yeah, the whitest girl in America probably shouldn't be saying that. The place is going to be at, let's see here. Where the heck is it? Crap. One sec.
You said crap.
Flat Earth Meetup. Hang on. I have to go at the Mercury Moon Bar, 2015 Doctors Inlet Road, Fleming Island, Florida. And that's in Jacksonville, July 1st. That's going to be the big Florida meetup.
That's cool.
Yep. So yours is on the 2nd. The Florida one's on the 1st.
Jacksonville.
There's Denver one on the 11th. There's the Denver one tonight.
You know, they're happening all of the time.
I know, I'm losing track.
They used to be the exception rather than the rule. In fact, the first official Flat Earth meetups were mine and yours.
Right.
And that was just a year ago. And now
it's
doing it.
Yeah, no, it's.
I'm not saying I'm taking credit for it. We all kind of at the same time had that collective idea to do this sort of thing. And I remember when it was laughed at. Oh, why would you want to meet up? That's ridiculous. You shouldn't meet up. It's dangerous.
The first Boston one went well. The first Phoenix one went well. They're going to do a second Phoenix one. And again, if anyone wants to do one in their city, just pick a restaurant, pick a wherever. I mean, the Phoenix one was done in a mall, which is, how fun is that? And the Boston one was initially went to a park and then ended up going at one of the Cheers locations, because apparently the television show spawned Cheers locations in Boston. Actually, Cheers, like a Cheers franchise. Go figure. You know, you do a television show for 11 years, get a perk. I don't know if the Cheers people get any money from that, but so yeah.
Chicago meetup starting in July, sponsored by Flat Earth Chicago on Facebook. So just go to Facebook and type in Flat Earth Chicago. So they're going to be starting things up. And there's a guy named Einar or Einar, E-I-N-A-R, Cooks, K-U-U-S-K. And he is going to be doing he's doing Flat Earth documentaries called Finding the Curve. And I know you have I've seen the first and second one. You know the ones I'm talking about.
Yeah,
we were discussing it the other day.
Interesting series.
Really, really awesome. So it's Finding the Curve. There's episode 1 and 2 out, more to come. And check it out on YouTube. So Finding the Curve, just look it up that way. And it really good. Just a man who's a flat earther dealing with people who aren't and talking to them, done in a very, very professional way. This could be entered in a film festival. Most definitely. It's that good.
Yeah.
So Einar Kusk, E-I-N-A-R-K-U-U-S-K. And he is also on Facebook under that name. And then, of course, just Finding the Curve, episode 1, Finding the Curve, episode 2. You can look them up that way on YouTube, and definitely subscribe to the channel. Give it a like. This is a guy who's doing really professional stuff and amusing and entertaining, and would be great as a teaching tool to show people who don't think flat earth is truth, because they'll see people reacting just the same way they reacted when they heard about it. And that's pretty cool.
Indeed. I want to mention this one more time, and then I'm going to erase it off my board. The Flat Earth Rally on the Canadian side of Niagara Falls on Canada Day, which is July 1st, coming up from noon to 4. And 2 emails are nffe@gmail.com or flatearthhamilton@gmail.com. So check out the Canadian meetup if you were in that area.
There's something that I've got coming up. Oh, Chris Pontius. I forgot. Pretty important. Tomorrow, the 29th of June, he's going to be my guest. And he's the one who makes, well, one of the few who make flat earth models and all sorts of really cool flat earth things. And he's going to show us some of the latest things he's made. We're going to talk with camera and we're just going to discuss. He's made a wonderful lighted flat earth flashing sign that I have in another room sitting on a table. He's made these really fun things that I've not been able to master that look like this that Mark and I have shown. And if
do not try to do that on camera.
Yeah, it'll hit you and knock the whole
You'll
thing
hit the
off
microphone.
Flatearthmodels.com, this.
Paddleball.
And, you know, he's got some really gorgeous.
Oh, the guy does amazing work.
So we're going to be talking with Chris Pontius tomorrow, the 29th, an interview with him on what he's making, flat earth stuff. And, you know, there are people who say, oh, well, you know, if you make a model of something or if you show this map, it's not real. Well, we kind of know this is just a representation of the flat earth. But it's nice. It's fun. It's
and it's cool. And it builds ties within the community. Like, for example, the Flat Earth custom wall clock by Flat Earth Builder.
Yes.
Corey Knudsen, right? I just put out the thing. What you don't know is that Flat Earth wall clock is being custom built for DITRH. And the thumbnail that was used was built by Jaren from Jarenism.
It's a team effort.
It's a team effort. And I was the one that made the trailer.
Flat Earth is a team effort in general. Yeah. Helping out people, doing whatever you can, sharing videos, thumbsing up videos, commenting on videos. That's the way we get things circulated and more eyes on it.
Thumbsing?
What?
Thumbsing.
Thumbsing?
Thumbsing?
Thumbsing up videos? Yeah. Thumbing up? I'm not sure.
I think it's thumbing. I don't think it's thumbsing.
What about thumbs up?
Well,
so thumbsing up would be many people thumbing up.
I think the chat room should probably weigh in on that and judge Patricia's intelligence right here and now on live podcast.
By putting a thumbs up if you think I'm right.
That's funny. See what you did there. Yeah. Also, I'm putting out my license plate compilation. I just got another one from Wisconsin, and I'm going to put up the compilation. I usually put it up at the very beginning of the month. So if you have a Flat Earth license plate, I don't care if it's on a motorcycle or whatever, send it to me in the next few days, and I will alter the compilation thing that will be released soon. It's really, really cool. And I'm going to be using music from a remix by Coldplay on that one. It's going to be fun.
I'm not a big fan of the band Coldplay, sorry to say.
You'd like this version.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I think you would.
All right.
I know that their stuff has been played to death. I remember when they were in the magazine saying how Coldplay is going to save the music industry.
Right. It's not really the sound of the music so much as this sort of faux persona that.
Oh, you don't like him?
Him, Chris. What's his name?
Yeah. He kind of turned into the whole. He bought into it.
Kind of like Bono from U2.
Kind of like Bono, and kind of like Jim Morrison. You absorbed too much of the love, and then you turned it into something else.
Right, you became either Jim Morrison bloated, or a bloated ego kind of thing.
Yeah, or you get on the cover of Time magazine like Bono. How Bono is going to change the world or save the world, which we all know is not true because Bill Nye is going to save the world.
Oh yeah, Bill Nye the Science Lie is going to save the world from Flat Earth. Ha. Just try it. Try us, Bill. Come on. I want to say hi to Ginger Sugar Bush and Paul on the Plane. And we've also got Carly Sunshine here and Sage Seals. Oh, Sage says thumbsing is a word, but you don't want to know what it means. Oh no.
Ooh, no. It's not a slang bedroom term like dirty sand something.
Are you sure that it doesn't have something to do with that gay pride flag that's on YouTube right now?
Or whatever. There's a lot of horrible things out there. I didn't know. I had my friend enlighten me back in the mid 2000s
about all the
horrible things. He goes, you never heard of all this stuff? I'm going, no. What is it? And he goes, well, there's this. I'm going, oh, everyone was worse than the last. But
people don't really do those things. They're just things people talk about. right?
Right.
Okay.
Next
In my
topic.
world, they don't.
Next topic is did you see, by the way, let's go. I'm trying to segue as quickly as I can off this. The NASA astronauts can drown in space.
Yes, I
So
saw that in a movie clip.
In a movie clip. The movie clip that was sent to me by Peanut Gallery. Well, I actually watched it.
What's the name of the movie?
The movie is brand new. It's 2017. It's called Life, with Ryan Reynolds. Oh, he's so dreamy. And Jake Gyllenhaal and some other people you haven't heard about. Anyway, it's set. The whole thing is set on the ISS.
Life? I mean, what a generic title.
I know. It's about bringing back a Mars soil sample to the ISS, and it turns into a little crabby monster thingy that looks a lot like the face huggers from Aliens. So it's basically Gravity meets Aliens, thrown a little thing, and it really turned into a horror movie. And I'm going to spoil it for you guys. It turns into basically Cabin in the Woods. You know, the whole, which is people. Although Cabin in the Woods was a very intelligent movie, it turns into a Friday the 13th / Halloween / Freddy Krueger type thing, where the people die because they do stupid things. The killer finds them. You know, they're running, they trip, they fall, they die. You know, they don't shut the door all the way. They get caught, they die. You know, it's
survival of the fittest in a way.
Survival of nobody's going to survive. This everybody knows. It is all. Once you figure out after the first 2 people die, you're going, okay, so how long are the others going to live? And the point was, of this clip is that we've all heard over the last couple of years that they've had to introduce a snorkel system, bleed system into the space helmets to vent off excess water because a couple astronauts apparently almost drowned. Even though there was no footage of this, we heard about it in a NASA press release.
Now, did they say it was because of their saliva or because of fluids inside their suits?
The fluids inside their
cooling
suits.
Fluids?
Well, that's just it. Here was the interesting part.
Their own urine? I mean,
no, also a good one. They said in the articles it was just water, but in this movie it was like antifreeze. So not only could you not, you know, because why don't you just start drinking it until because you can drink quite a bit. There's only so much back there. It's not like you can drown if you can just put it in your stomach. But since it was antifreeze, you couldn't drink it. So the alien had punctured one of the coolant things. It was leaking into her suit, and she was outside, and so she was trying to get back to the airlock, and her face mask is filling up with water, and she eventually drowns.
Ooh.
And so that's how they built it into the movie. Now there's your reinforcement. That movie clip reinforces, it's only like 3 minutes long, reinforces the stories that NASA released.
So now, that whole movie called Life is pretty much about partially set on the ISS.
The whole thing is set on the ISS. There are no ground shots.
So more stuff on that ISS made in Hollywood than they've ever shown on the supposed real ISS to us. And
it's actually helps us because you look at it and people say, well, no, things can't be faked on the ISS. Oh, absolutely they can. And as a matter of fact, the interior ISS shots in this thing were way better.
They don't have people's arms going transparent. And
Nope. Nobody's bleeding out anywhere. They're not fading out. The hair is what it should be.
Hair is not sticking up in
no, their hair was short in this.
Like you would for the military, or you would for
for I don't know, hygiene organization. It was ridiculous. So you'll understand when you see it. Oh, great shots of the holographic. I wonder what that would do on a green screen. Probably freak it out.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy. Well, it's making a lot of noise, and I'm thinking I should take it off.
I don't hear it.
Good. Well, I have a metal desk that it's sitting on, and the zippers on the jacket are like so.
So anyway, I put that clip out there to show people, like, look, that this is how it's done. Space reinforcement. You heard about this. We've all heard about the story, but no one had any. NASA didn't have any footage. They didn't even show an astronaut. Any astronaut that supposedly drowned. But here you have it. Glorious cinema. And now it'll be in the back of their heads. Oh yeah, I totally believe it. I saw it in a movie. Yeah, there you go. That's my.
I want to say hi to Elspeth Awake, who says they can use the same ISS set when the astronauts are gone at night. Yeah, they could.
Good.
Actually, it's made in a Hollywood basement. I mean, why not?
It was a horrible movie, by the way. It was awful. Just
Really?
so you know. I mean, it had really mixed reviews. Nobody was on the fence on this movie. They were like, "Oh yeah, it was a good." You know, it's still scored slightly fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, but the people that hated it. They're going, "This is the it's a standard people getting killed for doing dumb things."
Let's
If
see.
you know movies at all, you know plot lines at all, you'll totally get this.
Let's see. Oh, Save Our Future, America and Humanity. It mentions looking at water droplets in the wrong direction. Yeah, like what's his name? The astronaut. I always get the brothers' names confused.
Kelly.
Scott Kelly. Scott Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Where he's playing with those paddles and his eyes are following the droplet at first.
But then, he loses.
All of a sudden, it's kind of all crazy and wonky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, we can do fantastic stuff in post-production. You cannot do it live. Live is even now, 2017, and it's not going to change. Live is so tricky because of the human element. There's too many mistakes that can be made in live. It's the reason why we don't do live television. All the shows that are out there, they take real pride. In fact, it's a big deal when a show is like, "Oh yeah, we're going to do it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live." You know, but there's a reason why. It's because they make mistakes.
We have people joining us now asking again about the movie with the red glasses from our last episode.
Buckaroo Banzai.
Buckaroo Banzai.
1984. Peter Weller.
Nim is asking the question as well.
Great cast, great movie. John Lithgow as the villain. Ellen Arkin as the heroine.
Whenever you say someone's the heroine, like a heroic woman, it always sounds like you're saying heroine, like you're shooting up.
Same sort. Well, it's pronounced the same.
Yeah, one of those words.
Jeff Goldblum is in it. A bunch of character actors.
Jeff Goldblum. Yeah.
Young Jeff Goldblum, 1984.
Mm-hmm.
Just around the same
Fly,
time he did.
that Jeff
The
Goldblum?
Fly.
Yeah.
That era.
Yeah, he was cool.
He also, by the way, was one of a few list of actors that played the devil in a movie called Mr. Frost.
Yes. Who else played the devil? Keanu
Oh boy,
Reeves.
really? You want me to?
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves. No. Keanu Reeves didn't play the devil. He played the devil's son in The Devil's Advocate.
All right, well.
Robert De Niro played the devil in Angel Heart.
Oh yeah, part of that was filmed in New Orleans, and I've been inside one of the buildings where there's a special scene with a fan. It's on Magazine Street, kind of near where my old store used to be.
That was a dark little movie. I mean, that movie was way ahead of its time. That was with Lisa Bonet.
Yes, one of the Cosby girls.
She did the famous sex scene, and she's a Cosby girl while she was doing that.
She went off the rails of being that pure Cosby girl. Started dating Lenny Kravitz.
Lenny Kravitz. I mean, seriously, those two. And I saw her in something just this year, and the Lenny Kravitz. I mean, those two were actually born. I don't know. Are they still together?
No one's ever still together in Hollywood. But
I mean, they were a great couple as far as.
She's really pretty. That's all I know. So.
Yeah. Let's
see. Hey, we've got Street here. That's
Bill Cosby played the devil. You know that? Did you know that?
Bill Cosby?
Devil. It was a comedy. Devil and Max Devlin.
Wow.
And George Burns also played the devil in his counterpart in Oh God 2.
Oh God, I saw the original Oh God.
My favorite devil one would have been Elizabeth Hurley in Bedazzled.
Oh yeah, that movie. One time you mentioned Bedazzled. I don't know, maybe it was a few shows back, and I forgot about the movie, and then I remembered that's where Elizabeth Hurley played the devil.
Yeah, the only female
devilette.
Yeah, she was the only female devil.
I was saying there's a guy named Street, Streeeeeet, who says hello from Brazil. So
cool.
It's cool. Something else I was going to say. Oh, a lot of women are saying these days that Bill Cosby's the devil. That news about him and supposedly drugging and raping women still out there. Still out there.
Look, we're never going to know the whole story,
right?
But Bill Cosby in the 70s, driving around in a limo, full of drugs, propositioning women. He wasn't the only one doing it. Not to excuse him in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying that the reason you go after him is because you can get the settlement.
Agenda to silence Bill Cosby.
Maybe.
Keep.
I mean,
keep black folk in their place. Some kind of a horrible agenda like that. I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes, some days I think he's been framed. Other days I think not. I can't judge because how do I know? How do I know?
It's not going to affect my impression on his material because his material runs so deep. Oh yeah, there's going to be some people. I mean, our network's not going to run the Cosby Show? No, of course not. That show was #1 for years.
And he's done so many things that are really positive.
Yeah.
For
let's put it this way: it took a long time. He's
whatever you want to call.
He's at the end of his life, and now this is happening.
What
happened to these guys? What happened to these guys 40 years ago? What happened? What changed between then and now? This should have happened in the 80s.
Well, it's a witch hunt, kind of. Okay, here's an example. I'll give you a personal example without naming any names, and some people may know what I'm talking about. I ended a relationship, and then 7 months later, that person came out with some tell all about me, which was a crazy accusation. Why? Why wasn't it told right in the beginning when I left? Because it's not true. So maybe that would be the case with Bill Cosby. These women are coming out with these things years and years and years later because one person decided, wait a minute, I can get some money out of that guy. And then they sort of it all folded one.
Once the first person did a settlement,
it turns person on the dance floor.
It turns into a mini class action. No different than what surprised me was the amount of time. Again, it shows you that there's no limit. People they're waiting for it. The Tiger Woods cocktail waitress thing. Once the first waitress came out, then it all came out.
The floodgates are open. Now, if indeed that he has done this, that's horrible and shameful. But, I don't know if we'll ever really know the truth. Bill Cosby.
Oh, yeah. Tiger was an idiot. He left voicemails.
Yeah,
that's the worst part.
For sure.
Seriously, leave a voicemail. You'd think I'm not going to save that voicemail where he's going, hey, can you keep it quiet? What was the quote? Do me a solid and keep this, on the DL. Seriously, dude? That voicemail was worth $250,000.
And it does show the Tiger thing. I won't speak of the Bill Cosby thing because I kind of think he's being framed, but then again, I'm not taking a solid stance. With the Tiger Woods thing, and this goes to show you that for women who are thinking, oh, well, a man will cheat on me if he finds somebody prettier. I mean, his wife was gorgeous and he had children by her and she was very sweet. I think a former model.
Grant, wasn't he married to Elizabeth Hurley?
Yeah.
And he was caught in a car with a granny prostitute?
Yeah, exactly. So it's oftentimes cheating is done. Well, there's a lot of reasons why, but it's not because the woman's not good enough, smart enough, pretty enough.
It's because they can.
Yeah, it's because they can.
And
I think women do the same thing because they can. But
No. You and I have had the discussion. Women do it for a completely different reason. Women I know this because I was on
like a revenge.
Yeah, I was on the other side of this back when I was pretty. This was one of the things I did. They sought me out. I was that guy. Women and the saying, and it took me years to kind of congeal it all down into one thing, which is men cheat because they can, but women cheat because they've earned it. They all told me this.
Never cheated on a boyfriend ever. Never, ever, never.
Did you have horrible? Well, yeah, but you weren't married.
Well, I mean, I had some long-term relationships.
Yeah, it's not the same thing.
I did break up with somebody and then hours later started dating somebody else. But I knew that somebody else.
They were the women that I was.
But I kept it totally separate and clean. So
the women that I was with, there was a badge. They put up with enough crap, and they're going, you know what? I'm not going to divorce him, but I've earned enough merit points that I deserve to have an affair.
To be with a nice guy who cares.
Yeah, to be with a nice guy, and that's what they set out to do. And
that's sad. It's sad for them.
It was sad, which is why I eventually stopped doing it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, it's good that you admit that you did that too. And you're not hiding from it. It's not.
Why would I hide? I wasn't married. Look, in fact, half of them did not even tell me they were married until after.
Yeah.
The thing. Of course, I probably should have guessed. It's like, why won't you give me your phone number?
Why can I never come to your house?
Exactly. Why do we have to meet at the rrestaurant?
Why do you have a ring on your finger?
Exactly. Why are you drinking so much?
Yeah.
Good times. Anyway, Now that we've augured this show pretty much into Nowheresville, what's
We've augured this show so far down. We've gone deeper than 8 miles down, actually.
But has it been so wrong that it became right again? I don't know.
Yes, and then back again, and then
now it's back to being wrong.
Back to where it's still wrong.
Yeah, it's still wrong.
Tamaya says women don't like nice guys, unfortunately. That is not true.
That's not true.
No.
They do like nice guys, but they get suckered in. The comedian line, I think it was Chris Rock, said that they generally don't pick the nice guys first. So they make mistakes with the bad guy. The Chris Rock line was great. He goes, you don't know. There's women right now sitting in the audience there. Look, the guy sitting next to him, that's not their first choice. You know, and they'll sit on a couch next to that person and say the same thing. They'll look at it, it's like, this guy over here, man. Yeah. Happens a lot. I know you can't really relate, but it happens a lot.
It's sad, but then again, are we meant to be monogamous? That brings to mind another question. We live much longer than we used to for whatever reason. And are we meant to be monogamous?
I don't know.
Are we meant to marry? I love the idea of marrying and raising a child together, if that's what you want to do. So the child has both a mother and father in an intact home. It is an ideal. I think a lot of people get into marriage without actually knowing their partner very well. You know, a lot of women, going back to what Tamaya said about how women don't like nice guys, women do want nice guys. Sometimes they're fooled that a guy is a nice guy. And then they get in a relationship
there you go.
And find out that he's not a nice guy.
Deception runs rampant. Well, I mean, how many you've run into this? How many pickup lines? It's the whole point of a pickup line. You know, they come off as all these things, and it's not that.
Well, yeah, I don't know if I've fallen for pickup lines. I've fallen for pickup books, paragraphs.
There you go.
Meaning, you know, somebody who can convince you of what they are and who they are. And then you're like, yeah, this sounds like a great guy. And then wham, a bus hits you, just like that movie Final Destination, that one scene.
The end of the first one? Nice.
Exactly.
Nice.
Exactly.
Of course, you know, that scene would never work out because you'd hear the bus coming.
Yeah.
That's what made that scene work. It's like silence, silence, silence. And all of a sudden a bus makes noise as it's hitting you.
Yeah. That's a good scene. Arwen, I want to say hello to Arwen. Oh, and I mentioned Elspeth Awake's channel. She's doing poetry, spoken word poetry on her channel. So check it out. Right. Zulu1 says he's been married for 20 years today.
Yeah, he's a pretty stable guy, though.
That's nice, isn't it?
He's a down-to-earth guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank everyone for being here in the live chat, and we're sorry that the live chat isn't as bouncy as normal, and it wasn't because there's something wrong with YouTube.
Are we doing something after this?
Are we? Oh my gosh, yes, this is something we wanted to talk about that we're going to go do. Karen Pettit. Karen Pettit is from the UK. Karen Pettit is doing a hangout just as soon as we head over there. She might have even started without us.
Really?
So,
because I got to get some to eat first, so I can't go right this second.
I can go.
Can you? You sure?
I'll hold down the fort. Or as somebody once said to me incorrectly, I'll hold down the fork. Yep. Someone said,
no. I had a guy that actually sung the lyrics, "Dirty deeds done dirt cheese."
Ew.
Yeah.
In
a room full of people.
I think that's what they're called. Or in the case of songs, chronic lyricosis.
Chronic lyricosis, yeah.
So let me head
look
over
up the lyrics. You don't have any excuse anymore. It's all on the internet.
Yeah, this is true. Let me look up.
I don't care if the singer mumbles. They can't all enunciate.
Let's see.
Like Cake does. You know, the band Cake.
Oh, yeah. I like Short Skirt, Long Jacket.
We are building a religion. I mean, their lyrics are about as clear as you can get. You cannot screw up those lyrics.
So we do have Karen Pettit going. You and I should be heading over there soon. So they're talking about the flat earth, the sun and the moon. Karen Pettit. Pettitt.
Has it already started?
Yeah. Go subscribe to her channel. And Mark, you and I will run on over there. Make yourself up some Jiffy Pop, Mark.
Well, it's going to take me a little while.
All right. I'll probably maybe be gone by the time you show up.
Well, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe we can make it a mukbang show and you can eat on camera.
See, I didn't even know that was a thing until this year.
I want to do a flat earth mukbang show eventually. I think it would be fun eating on camera for some reason.
The name is what bugs me. Just if people get a thing about people eating on camera, I don't know why.
Yeah, like chewing with their mouth open and like getting kale between your teeth. Not the best.
Oh God.
Yeah. Anyway,
all right.
Until we meet again, that's when we're going to meet again. This concludes episode number 194 of Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes. Mark Sargent, Patricia Steere, and earlier Nathan Oakley from all of us to you. Keep it flat.